Hi, everyone. Welcome. I'm excited that you're able to join me tonight for our webinar. As promised, we're going to discuss 7 ways to prevent the summer slide. Here's just a quick overview. We are kind of going a little bit with a theme here on May 7th at 7 o'clock and 7 ways to prevent the summer slide. So you can see we have trouble spots, camps, outside the box, daily reading, give the answer, outside learning, and 2190. And I'll be going over a little bit more in depth within each of those areas. Before we get into that goodness, I do want to share a little bit about who we are, who La Jolla Learning is. We are a company who provides special educational therapy services to individuals on a one-on-one setting. We provide academic coaching, which is more that grade level support. We provide educational therapy, which is that remediation using research-based programs. And then we also provide test prep. We have 3 locations within the San Diego area. We have a location in La Jolla, we have a location in Carmel Valley, and we have a location in Mission Valley. And we also service students virtually as well. So a little bit about me. My name is Kayla Flores. Again, I'm the executive director here at La Jolla Learning. Prior to coming to La Jolla Learning, I am an educator at heart. I have over 15 years of experience as a special education teacher. When my son was identified with dyslexia in 2nd grade, that really fueled that passion within me. And so I paired already my heart as an educator and then my drive to just make sure that I was able to help my son in a way that he needed. And that really is what gave me the focus of dyslexia. That's where my passion is. I love working with all students across all different needs, but that dyslexia holds a special place in my heart because of my son, Sam. And I love sharing information with parents. I love sharing information with other professionals. And of course, I love seeing students grow. All right, so let's get into this. All right, so first way to prevent the summer slide is understanding trouble spots. So trouble spots are those academic areas that are a source of frustration or stress or confusion for your learner. They may be areas that seem to pop up year after year. So maybe once they're in the school year, you notice that they kind of make some progress, so it's not as frustrating as what it may have been at the beginning of the year. Maybe they're provided some extra intervention in school. They seem to be making some growth. Then the school year ends, and then the school year picks back up again, and you're noticing kind of this pattern of frustration or just these trouble spots. These areas may be something that you've seen. It may be something that teachers have touched base on. And really think about like foundational math skills, basic reading, reading comprehension, writing, spelling. So really those foundational skills that are preventing your child from really accessing learning at an enjoyable rate. So summer is great to target trouble spots for several reasons. The first reason I had there is kind of that bar of expectation. So during the school year, if there's already a gap between what your student is expected to know and where they're currently performing, throughout the school year, that bar of expectancy just continues to rise. In summer, it stays stationary. There is no expectation for students to grow academically over the summer. So this prevents the prime opportunity for us to get in there, target trouble spots, and really start to fill that gap that that has been a source of frustration for your student. Obviously, flexible scheduling. If your student is more of a morning person, we're able to see them now in the morning. They're ready to learn. and I experienced this as a mother with Sam, they go to school all day. And then for those kiddos who need something additional or something different, that's at the end of their school day. And they're tired. They work hard all day long. So again, summer offers us that time to get them fresh and just ready to learn. There's no homework. So we're not having to choose one or the other, or you as parents, having to bring them to get additional support and then do homework at home. So there's not that additional stress. We're able to, again, just really focus on that area that needs that remediation. And one of the best parts of this, and my favorite, is that confidence boost. So they're going to go into the school year definitely progressing instead of regressing. And actually, instead of maybe just even staying where they were, they're going to gain new skills, and they're really going to start to see school through a new light. So how do you target these trouble spots? Oftentimes I talk to parents or I talk to other professionals, and although students that oftentimes need extra time targeting these certain areas, they don't need just additional practice. So if you think like drill and kill, that's not going to help. They need a different approach. The really cool thing also about when you're targeting trouble spots is that you're starting at the student's level. So if you have a learner who is working below the grade level expectation, they're always being pulled up to where they need to be. And so when you provide them instruction where you're targeting these specific levels that have these particular levels that have been identified, you're meeting them where they are and you're supporting them as they grow, which is such a phenomenal feeling for both the instructor, the student, and the parent. And then also that gift of time. So hi. Also the gift of time is my last point for this one. If you are really working with a program or an instructor who is targeting those trouble spots, they're going to work to mastery. And what that means is that they're not working to any timeline other than the timeline of the student. And so when the student shows that they're ready to progress, then the next skill set is introduced. And these are just some different areas that, as maybe you're looking around for different places or for different people to help, these are some things that you really want to keep an eye out for. If you do have a student that, again, really needs that remediation or needs to catch up in a certain area in school. The way that we offer that is at La Jolla Learning is, again, we provide educational therapy using research-based programs and methodologies. And then also through executive functioning, we target math skills, reading, writing, any of those academic or executive functioning areas that, again, your students performing below grade level, we definitely can help support. All right, the second way to prevent the summer slide is finding interest-based camps. So interest-based camps are fantastic no matter where your child is performing academically. Maybe they're excelling academically, or maybe they're struggling academically, but you want to get them involved in something, whether that's for their social skills or even academically. When things are interest-based, like all of us as humans, we want to put a little more effort into it. We want to try a little harder. And interest-based camps are a great way to keep the momentum going. Again, here are some great benefits in using interest-based camps. They're natural motivators. You can stretch kids beyond the expectation of where they were in school. They're often strength focused, so they look at the strengths of the students and their interests, and they build the lesson or program around that. You can continue momentum. So if your student finished out the year strong, and you want that momentum to keep going, again, interest-based are just a fun way and a great way to boost confidence over the summer. So we actually have a new interest-based camp at La Jolla Learning. It's called our Explore program. It is an academic enrichment program. And like everything that we do at La Jolla Learning, it is still individualized to your student. So we'll talk with you, we'll talk with your student, we'll figure out which pathway of interest is right up their alley, and then we build the program around that. Okay, so think creatively. Writing is often avoided by learners because of the strict parameters. My son Sam is a great example of this. Again, he has dyslexia, so that quick word find, or his ability to fluently spell, although he's made leaps and bounds over the years, it's still something that is hard for him. But he is a fantastic writer. He has a great imagination. And so summer is a great time to really let go of all of those parameters and allow the students to just write creatively. What does that look like? There are some great funny picture prompts out there with dogs dressed all crazy. And you can simply give them that and allow them to just write about it. Give them a blank journal with no prompt in it. Again, just release those parameters and just introduce writing to your students so that they can find that love and creativity. Pen pals or in-home letters are a great option as well, especially if you have some students who maybe you're still working during the summer. You can be their in-home pen pal. You can leave notes under each other's bedroom door, under the pillow, whatever that may be. Again, it's just a different approach to writing. Conversational prompts. I am a mother of 2 teenage boys, and I have a 7-year-old as well. And everyone just likes to get their point across, right? So give them something that's going to create that conversation, allow them to talk about, argue about why they think that their point is the most valid one. And change the ending is always a cool one. So give them, maybe read a popular story with them or a story that they haven't heard yet, and offer them the opportunity to change the ending of that story through writing. Oh, I forgot that I put this in here. So there's Sam. He's actually taking a creative screenwriting class through La Jolla Learning. Currently, he's doing fantastic. He loves it. And so again, if you think an individual with dyslexia, again, the spelling and things of that nature are difficult for him, but he is a fantastic writer. And so really allowing him to just focus on that creativity part has been such a blessing to us and to him for his self-confidence. Reward daily reading. So if there's one non-negotiable that I encourage everyone this summer to do, the non-negotiable would be reading. So there's so much research that supports daily reading. And the thing is that reading can look completely different for each learner. So I think that we think that learning looks like everyone has to have a book and sitting in a quiet corner and reading that book until the timer goes off. The most important thing is the consistency that they're having access to that language, to that content and learning. A lot of great ways to make that happen this summer is accessing your public library. So allowing your kids to go in there. One, it's free and everyone enjoys that, but also it allows students to really get books in their hands and look through them. And you would be surprised maybe at what they're attracted to, given all of the choices. Allow them to reread favorites. There, again, is a lot of research that backs up rereading supports reading fluency. And so I do interact, with some parents that discourage that just because they want to continue their child to read. But remember, if they're reading for leisure or for pleasure, that's really not the time necessarily to challenge them. That would, happen with grade level content in school or through different means, but really encourage that love for reading. Like we were talking about that love for writing, encourage that love for reading. And if they really enjoy a certain book, let them reread it. I know that I've reread books before, and I've actually gotten different information the second time I've read the book, when comparing it to the first time that I read the book. So allow them to reread their favorite books. Another great one is If you do have students that your learner is a struggling reader, book series are fantastic for the reason that a lot of the characters are the same, the genre that is the same, a lot of the language is the same. So they're not having to relearn all of that when the new book is introduced. So that's, a way to expand them outside of maybe reading the same book, for the 20th time. Looking for book series is a great way to help with that. The third one I have there is ear reading, and I got this from the book, The Dyslexia Empowerment Plan, and he really speaks about how reading is more just through your eyes. You can definitely learn, and remember, accessing reading is about accessing that language and that content, the vocabulary. And if your student struggles to sit down and read a book on their own, offer them audio. There's pretty much everything out there right now through YouTube. Bookshare is a free resource for students who have been identified with a specific learning disability. So that resource is out there as well. Learning Ally is a huge online database for audiobooks. That one is a paid membership, but very affordable. So again, allow your student, if they like to listen to the book as opposed to sit down and reading, they're still getting that learning in. So allow that to happen. And oftentimes allow them to read along with it. A lot of the platforms now will have the words coming across the screen as they're listening to it. Reading aloud to them is so important no matter what the age. I just did a professional development at a school, and we were talking about how the popcorn reading and things like that, how damaging that can be to a child's self-esteem, especially one who is a struggling reader. And I showed them so many articles regarding how no matter the age of the student, they may pretend like they don't like it at first, but they still love to be read aloud to. So don't put an age limit on that. Get the book out and read it to your kiddos this summer as well. Make it a priority. So first, you need to do this before you get access to your electronic, or before you do whatever thing your child would like to spend the majority of their day doing. Have them get that reading done first, just so that it's done. And 100% interest-based. I wish that our schools had the flexibility to do more of this, just because, again, we as adults, we read about things that we're interested in. So I am really passionate about allowing kiddos to do the same thing. This is a really cool one. Give the answer, they create the problem. So again, this is just shaking it up a little bit and giving kids situational instruction, but from a different angle. So it's working a situation backwards. It not only gives a fresh vibe, but allows for a deeper understanding of the concept. And this is also a great practice for flexible thinking. So what does this work like, or how does this work? Ways to work problems in reverse. So use each operation in math. So instead of giving them, 7 plus 5 equals blank, 5 plus 7 equals blank, give them just a number and have them figure out an option, or have them figure out a problem where that number is the answer using each operation. So if the number is 12, they have to figure out a problem using addition where the answer is 12, using subtraction, multiplication, and division. Math word problems, again, this is also a great one. Give them the problem, the numerical problem, and have them create the word problem that goes along with that. It's going to work their math brain in just a different way. And again, it allows for that deeper understanding. Create the title, this is a great one as well. Maybe read them and allow them to read something or speak about something, and ask them, what would be a great title for this? Create the story's conflict. So whether it's a story they're familiar with or not, allow them to change up the conflict, like we talked about changing the ending. So you're giving them the characters, maybe the setting, but they're creating the story's conflict. Maybe you're giving them the solution, and then they have to think, okay, if this is the solution, what would that conflict be? Create new words with the same sounds. So again, instead of saying, giving them the sound, so, ag, and having them read that, maybe just give them those 3 letters or put some more letters up there and see how many words they can create on their own. And this is actually also a really great one for social emotional learning. So like what could have happened? So give them a problem or solution and have them work that social situation backwards. Take learning outside. I think we all know how much better we feel when we're able to be outside, when we're really able to ground ourselves. And it's the same with children, and it's the same with taking learning outside. It decreases stress, it improves mood, it actually improves concentration. A lot of people think there's so much going on out there, but you would be surprised. Easily incorporate multisensory learning, which I'll show you on the next slide. And it also allows you to be out and about and connect to others in your community. So here are some great ways to take learning outside. The little child right there with the paintbrush, that's simply a paintbrush with water. So maybe this summer you really want to work on your child's high frequency words, spelling of high frequency words. That's a great way, take a bucket of water, a paintbrush, and go outside and just let them go to town on the side of your house or on the sidewalk, whatever that looks like. You can see there where we have the numbers on the index cards, and they use sticks to create tallies that are equivalent to the numeral. And then also sand trays. Sand trays are a great way to incorporate multisensory learning, especially with those high frequency words, because the learner is not able to attach a visual picture to like the word was. And so for individuals who struggle with rote memory, oftentimes individuals with dyslexia, this is true, they struggle to remember that. They want to still rely on what they hear, so the phonetics that they hear. So we use sand trays at La Jolla Learning, but if you have a sandbox outside, you can use stampers. You can have them just finger write in the sand. And again, anytime we can approach a situation using a multisensory approach, being outside, it's just going to make that learning easier, and it's going to make the retention easier as well. So the last point I want to touch on is prevent the summer slide. So 2190. It takes 21 days to form a habit and 90 days to create a permanent lifestyle. So I know that oftentimes, and I'm saying this truly as a parent, it's not easy to encourage your child to take some of these academic steps in the summer, especially that first one, targeting the trouble areas. Although that is one of the most important ones, it's the thing that's hardest for them. And so the last thing that they want to do is spend their summer working on it. But if you can just think about where they'll be, keep that end in mind, and think about where they'll be at the end of summer, if they take, 2 to 3 hours a week of their summer and dedicate it towards this specific area, it's going to be fantastic for them. And so use the summer to develop executive functioning habits that will turn into permanent positive lifestyle changes. So this can you can look at this through the academic lens, like I just spoke about, and you can also look at this through the executive functioning lens. So if you think about what are some areas that maybe during the school year your child struggled with? Did they struggle with their morning routine? Did they struggle with their nightly routine? Did they struggle with initiating and completing tasks? All of those executive functioning skills that maybe are hard during the school year, Summer is a great time to put some of these proactive habits into place so that they're able to work it and they're able to become proficient in the system or habit that you're teaching to them, so that the time school rolls around, you're not trying to teach them these things as they're going to school, as everyone is rushing out of the house. Um, when they come home and they're exhausted from school and from sports practice. So again, kind of think about what are some areas that would really help my family be more successful next school year, and work in some of those routines now. Flexible thinking is a great area to work on over the summer. How flexible are they within plans? And if something comes up where you have your child struggles to think flexibly, helping them to work through different problem areas and create different strategies, is summer is a great time for that. Instead of, like when you're just leaving, you're running out the door and you don't have time to process these things with them. Organization, create an area in their room where maybe that is their learning area. And just because it's summer, that doesn't stop. So maybe you're going to implement some of the things that we just spoke about, and help them to ensure that area within their room stays organized. Or maybe they struggle with, organizing their backpack during the summer. Well, are they going to a summer camp? Can you incorporate that, within their schedule now? Do they carry a purse? Do they carry a wallet? Just what are some of these systems that maybe aren't your backpack and your school folders, but it still requires you to keep things in a certain place? How can you implement those areas? Time management, this is a great one. Hold your kiddos accountable this summer in getting tasks done. Maybe they set goals and you check in with them daily. Maybe it is that reading, are they able to maintain focus and sit down and read for a certain period of time? I just spoke about goal setting, but goal setting is a great one in the summer. Again, you don't have the pressure of school and things like that hovering over your child. So set some personal goals with them. That's going to help them from within, what's going to help them feel better, and allow them that time, just like we all need, allow them that time to really work on themselves. And at the end of summer, you're going to be able to celebrate with them that they consistently stuck to something all summer long, and you're going to start to help them train their brain that they are able to stick to things and carry them through completion. Working memory is an area that a lot of kiddos struggle with during the school year, I guess, and that would also play over, into school when you're giving them multi-step directions and things like that. So again, figure out what some strategies are that work for you. Instead, I always use this analogy, maybe because it's something that I can see us doing on a daily basis, is like, let's go. And, everyone is running out of the house. But maybe you practice giving them those multi-step directions and then chunking them and working backwards, because you're not having to, get to school by 8 o'clock. And sustained attention, set a timer. If you have a kiddo that struggles with attention deficits and they struggle with sustaining their attention, set a goal for them, set a timer to do a certain task. And then if they're, successful, definitely, reinforce that. And then, maybe the next week you up it by a minute or whatever is appropriate for your child. But and I speak to you all as not someone who does any of this perfectly, but someone who is constantly working on all of these things with my own family and with my own boys. It's very easy to just want a break yourself as parents over the summer. But I am going to practice what I preach and definitely put some of these things into place as well, just so that when the school year starts back up in the fall, we're ready to rock and roll because we feel really great about how we've just spent our summer together. The way that we help with these executive functioning skills at La Jolla Learning is through Mindprint Learning. I love Mindprint Learning. I brought it into La Jolla Learning when I came as the executive director. It's incredible. It's a diagnostic that is used by NASA. It was created out of the University of Penn. And the reason that NASA uses it is that prior to going to the International Space Station, they want to see how an astronaut learns best, how they take in information best, how they remember it best, how they organize it best cognitively. So if something goes awry while the astronaut is in outer space, they're able to speak to them from a strength-based approach so it gets fixed as efficiently as possible. And so the way that this translates into the education world is it allows us to understand through this diagnostic. It prints out a beautiful report that I share with parents and obviously our instructors, and it tells us how the learner takes information in best, how they remember information best, and how they organize information best. Are there any of those executive functioning skills that could be what we call potential blockers from them reaching their potential best? And then we teach the student how to take a strength-based approach to these executive functioning skills. So is there some kind of tweak that they can make in their studying habits during the school year so that they're able to access that information more efficiently because it's how they learn best? Here is our information at La Jolla Learning. If you would like more information, we offer free consultations with me. You can visit our website and fill out the consultation form there. You can give us a call, speak to my insanely incredible program manager, Asia, and she will get you set up with a consultation with myself. Or if you just have questions and you want to stay after, I'd be happy to answer questions that you may have now. But I hope that you all took something from this presentation and that you are able to feel good about yourselves as parents this summer, while also really giving your students and your learners some great things to set them up for success in the fall. Thank you everyone so much for coming. I really appreciate it.